All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Listen, we've got still enough time to send out those last minute texts and make those last minute phone calls. Let's get as many people in front of this opportunity tonight as possible. This is our lifestyle and legacy conversation every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time without fail. My name is Gerald W. Parker. I'll be only one of your hosts tonight, and we'll be joined here shortly by Mr. Eric Wilner. So many good things to say about this gentleman. I mean, just honored to be able to share this platform with him. We're going to review tonight what I consider to be the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth, and that is MWR. So, guys, get ready. Michael, great to see you, my friend. Jameson Rowe, truly a pleasure. Miss Smith, welcome to the platform. All right, Lester, welcome to the platform. Randy Christensen, my good friend out of Greeley, Colorado, and one of our operators tonight behind the scenes, along with Mr. Fernando Ramirez, our partner in this business endeavor out of Los Angeles, California. So, guys, get ready. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. Let's get as many people on as possible. This is an exciting night because we've got so much to share with you with the new developments with MWR, the addition of business funding. But something has happened over the past day or so. Actually, today is Wednesday. This happened on Monday. Uh, and we're going to share that with you tonight because it's going to give you a chance to explode your business. And that's what we're here to do, guys, to put you in a position where you never have to worry about money again. All the tools are in place. We just need the financial means to take advantage of them. And we've got a revenue share program that is going to help you do just that. Take full advantage of everything we've got on the table and put yourself in a position where you win and you win big. All right, guys, way to go. Miss Zena Edgehill, welcome to the platform. So, guys, once again, let's get ready. Send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. Let's get as many people in front of this as possible as we wait on my co-host, Mr. Eric Wilner. Again, tell us where you're logging in from, what city, what state. Put that in the chat if you would. And let's talk about this. Let's have a good time tonight. We're not going to be before you long. We're going to provide you with some impactful information. Once again, we've got a couple minutes. So send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. We're going to launch our presentation right at the bottom of the hour, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. We've got a lot. Oh, Miss Lovey Sullivan, Tampa, Florida. Welcome to the platform. Always a pleasure, ma'am. All right, guys, who else we got out there? Type it in the chat. Let me know where you're joining us from. What city, what state. All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Once again, send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. There she is. There she is, the lovely Miss Zena Edgehill out of Maryland. Truly an honor to have you here, ma'am. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's an honor to be here with you. So, yes, like Dr. Parker said, please send out those last minute texts. Get everybody on. You're going to hear a great presentation from Dr. Parker as well as Eric Wilner. So I'm excited. Let's put in the chat where you are coming from, where you are watching from. My name is Zena Edgehill, and I am from the state of Maryland. So with that being said, I will go ahead and introduce Dr. Parker, which you had just had the honor of listening to. He's one of our our speakers. And Dr. Parker is a founder, a member of MWR. As a two-star regional director, Dr. Parker achieved the incredible milestone of leaving his $65,000 a year job in just 2 years. And he also pursuing right now, he is full-time with MWR business as a full-time right now. Excuse me, I apologize for that. But that's not all. That's just really a little bit of the top of Dr. Parker. He has led quite a few of us leaders that are part of MWR. He is our top leader. Dr. Parker has such a great heart. We are lots of leaders right now is successful because of Dr. Parker. So I will go ahead also and introduce Eric Wilner is a licensed realtor and seasoned mortgage broker and a veteran investor. He's seen the market from every angle, and he's here to share his insight with us. But that's not all. Eric Wilner speaks 4 different languages, which is English, Portuguese, Spanish, and German. He is also the founder and host of America's longest running daily real estate radio show, heard bright and early drive during your drive time, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eric Wilner also has known how to communicate, and he knows the industry inside and out. Beyond that, Eric is a legacy coach with MWR, dedicated to empowering individuals to build not just wealth, but a fulfilling and lasting legacy. So with further ado, it's my honor and my pleasure to introduce Dr. Parker and Eric Wilner. Thank you both. It was an honor. It's always an honor to introduce you both.
Zena and Zena, listen, thank you so much for that kind introduction. Eric Wilner, I was wondering, she was speaking so highly of both of us. I'm like, who are these guys?
I want to meet them.
That's right. Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Lifestyle and Legacy Conversation. This is every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Once again, as Zena said, my name is Gerald W. Parker. I'm joined on the platform today, but not only with my business partner, but my friend, Mr. Eric Wilner. Eric, once again, welcome, sir.
Well, it's a pleasure, and it's a conversation that I look forward to every Wednesday night. It's the highlight of my day, and you and I get to casually get together, talk about something I think that is a very dynamic opportunity going on right now, and hopefully find out who the entrepreneurs are among us tonight.
No question about it, sir. It is indeed a conversation worth having, a conversation that needs to be had right now, considering where we are in our current economy, the state of affairs as we see them. We've got to position ourselves financially to win. And Eric, I mean, the only way you do it is that you've got to have your ducks lined up. You've got to have things in place. And that's why I was so excited about meeting you several years ago when you talked about these core beliefs. And you hold these things close to you. They're principles that you live by. Talk about those things while I pull up the PowerPoint.
All right. And well, I talk about this every single day. In fact, on my radio show, 5 days a week for the last 26 years, these are 3 core beliefs, and they are as follows. Number one, I believe that everyone should own a home. Okay, not everybody will, but tonight I'm going to show you how anybody can, regardless of credit or past background. My belief number 2 is that everyone should have their financial house in order. And that means having a written plan, whether you call it a life plan, a financial plan, but you got to have your goals and your vision in writing. And P.S., if you can't put it down, I mean, try it, put it down in writing. A lot of people struggle at first. And all that means is it seemed like it was clear up here, but can you write it down and slide it across the table and someone else understand what you read clearly as a picture? And that is probably one of the most healthy exercises that a person can do. Belief number 3, and this is a big one too, you must have multiple streams of income, preferably passive. Warren Buffett is famous for saying that as long as you're trading hours for dollars, you'll never be able to retire. And the goal, the reason that people go to work, the reason that people, go to school, get good grades in order to get a good job is, it's to be able to eventually retire. We always have that eye on the future, but few of us have a real plan. So when you put those 3 together, own a home, have a written financial plan, and then create multiple streams of income, that's how you retire wealthy. That's how you play the money game and win. 80% of Americans don't.
Oh, no question about it, sir. But I tell you what, we have got a solution. We've got the fix to the problem right here tonight, and we're going to be sharing it. As I mentioned earlier, we're talking tonight about MWR. This is our lifestyle and legacy conversation, but this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. And we're going to present to you tonight what I feel is the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. And you'll understand why as we go through it. But think about the ability to live the lifestyle that you want, and in the process, build the legacy for your family that they truly deserve. And Eric, I always say, if we don't do it for our families, then pray tell, who will?
It's up to us.
It's up to us, my friend. It's up to us. So let's dig in. Let's get a little deeper in this conversation here. You mentioned earlier the reasons that we trade time for money or even operate businesses. Why do we continue to do what we do? Well, we're maintaining our current lifestyle and also creating a future lifestyle. But at the same time, the whole idea is legacy, right? We want to leave our children in a position. We don't want this work to be in vain. But there are challenges, Eric, that we all face. And these are the three major ones starting here. How do we make more money? Everybody wants to figure that piece out. Two, then how do we keep more of the money that we make? Let's get a handle on that. But three, you spoke about it earlier. Warren Buffett says if you continue to trade time for money, you'll work until you die. How do you make your money work for you? That's what wealthy people have figured out. And Eric, that's the piece that 80% that you talked about have not figured it out. Because why is it so important? One, we know that, money's going to outwork you and me. While we're sleeping, money continues to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, around the clock. It continues to compound itself and grow. And so there'll never be enough time in the day for you and I to generate the level of income that we need, trading time for money, that we need to free ourselves, but money can do it for us. So this is why it's such a critical piece. But look at the results of the average American. We're putting in 50 plus years. It wasn't so long ago when we had this conversation, Eric, we talked about a 40-year plan, right? That was put in place years ago, 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then they expect you to live on 40% of the income that you were earning when you were working full time, but they keep pushing the numbers back. I can't tell you the number of people that I know personally that are in their 70s that are forced to go to work, not because they want to, but because they have to maintain some quality of life. So what are we doing? We're financing a lifestyle instead of owning it. And look at what we're doing. We're leaving our families in debt instead of a legacy. How do we fix this problem, sir?
Well, and statistically, 80% of Americans, when they retire, don't retire financially independent. They retire financially dependent, mostly on Social Security. And if you looked at the most recent statistics on Social Security, first of all, this may be an image shattering for some people, because I've had people think that Social Security can pay up to $10,000. The maximum Social Security check being paid in America today is $4,000. Okay, that's it. That's not golden retirement, number one. But here's the worst kicker. The average Social Security check in America today is around $1,600. $1,600 is the average Social Security check. Don't forget that the average rent payment in America is now $2,000. So what's wrong with that equation right there? And so you don't want to be part of the 80% of Americans that are retiring but not really able to retire. Do you think the person that's greeting you at Walmart is there because they want to? You think the people that are, in their 70s working? And you're right. We used to talk about 40 years and 40 hours. Who works 40 hours a week anymore? And now they're getting the same result. I sometimes think back, my father, when I was young, was the sole breadwinner. And, they were able to make ends meet. Today, two people working still aren't able to make ends meet. There's a crisis going on out there, and it's real.
Oh, no question about it, sir. It is real, and people are in a pinch. They're living quiet lives of desperation. But I've seen, I've been around this industry for a little while, but I've never seen it the way I'm seeing it now. How tough it is for most people just to get by. The cost of goods and services is increasing, and our money's not increasing. So we can't seem to turn the corner. When you talk about Social Security income, what am I going to do with $1,600 a month? And think about the people that have committed 30 or 40 years of their life, and this is where they end up. I don't want to be one of those persons, but that's why what we bring tonight is so significant as it relates to MWR. This is the difference, Eric. I'm convinced, no question. But we go further. This is the only opportunity that guarantees your success. Now, you've been around the financial service industry for a long time. I don't believe there's any other company in this country that can say this. These guys are bold. They put it in writing. Look at what they say. If our experts, strategies, or opportunity can't put more money back into your pocket than the cost of the membership in your first 30 days, Eric, they're going to give you a full refund.
A full and cheerful refund. But here's the interesting thing. You talk about the financial services. Ask your stockbroker, what kind of guarantee he'll give you. That's why MWR is in a category of one. A lot of financial services companies aren't even allowed to use the word guarantee. Compliance won't allow them because they're so worried that the outcome that they're delivering isn't going to meet what the expectations are. And when that doesn't happen, there's lots of problems. But right here, take a snapshot of this. This is for real. You see right here a 100% money back guarantee. And literally, there's no risk to you. Okay, because if our experts and our strategies can't put more money in your pocket than the cost of membership, then the only way that you can lose, my friends, is by not taking it for a test drive, not getting get all the information is all I'm saying. You're going to hear a lot of things tonight, but I want you to get all the information in order for you to make a wise decision, because what we're talking about is not insignificant. This could be the difference tonight, could be the difference between you having a solid, confident plan for the future and just continuing to drift like 80% of Americans, and they find out that their financial report card when they retire, is an F.
Wow. And unfortunately, that's where many people are. But let's get into it a little further and talk about this membership as it relates to lifestyle and legacy. Think about it now, what we bring to the table. What are these experts going to help each individual do, Eric? These are some of the things that we highlighted earlier, but dig deep for me and help our audience understand what we bring to the table and why so many people associated with this platform are winning.
Well, and there's tens of thousands of people that are on this platform right now as we speak all across the country. And before I dig in deep, let me just go over, on the right side, you see 9 squares. I call this our money matrix. And this is just the surface of what MWR is offering in the membership in order for you to be able to keep more work, make more and protect your income. The blue squares, think about this. These are your level 1 strategies. And I don't care whether you have $2 in your wallet or whether you have $2 million in your bank account. Everybody needs these initial 4 foundational services. Number 1, eliminate my debt. Debt is the middleman between you and financial freedom. Number 2, reduce my taxes. Who doesn't want to, let alone need to, reduce approximately 30% of your income going to taxes? How about lowering my bills? All those other bills, that come in month after month after month. What if you had an expert in that area that could analyze your monthly bills and even often without changing carriers or providers, show you how to save 10, 20, 30, 40% off of your monthly bills? And then the next one is very near and dear to my heart. Being in the mortgage business for over 25 years, being in the real estate business for over 35 years, credit has been the one big obstacle that knocks more people out of the box. And mostly because people don't pay attention to their credit score. Also because they don't understand how their credit score works. And imagine again, if you had an expert that included in your membership was monitoring and then repairing and building your credit. Let me tell you how important just this one area is. Number 1, if you have an 800 plus credit score, you're getting things in the mail that nobody else gets. You're getting opportunities offered to you, doors opened for you. There's a study, a Harvard study, that says that an 800 credit score is more valuable than $100,000 sitting in the bank. And on the other side of the coin, if you have less than a 700 credit score, you're paying a premium, often 20 to 50% higher than the person with an 800 credit score. So which side of the coin do you want to be? And all you have to do really is pay attention. And now that you have experts in your corner, that's excellent. Then the green squares, we're going to talk about that in a second. Those are our level 2 strategies. Remember, you said we're going to show you how to keep more of the money you already make. Wouldn't that be good? Those are your light blue. Now we're going to take that extra money that you save, right? And Gerald, what are we going to do with that extra money? Are we going to go shopping?
No, sir. We're going to find a job for that money, my friend. We're going to put it to work. But here's the beautiful part about what we offer. The experts do all the work, and Eric, you and I and everyone else associated with this platform get the results. But let's talk about these strategies. Now that we've got this additional money, what happens here? Where does that money come from, right? This is from our existing finances, but who's taking this money away from us? The government, banks, and big business. But let's talk, Eric, about how we put that money back in the pockets of the average person that accesses this platform.
one word, experts. You know, you and I can't be experts in every one of these fields. And through the sheer power of numbers, that's what a membership is very valuable for, the power of numbers. Now, all of a sudden, what you didn't do, you didn't call your CPA every time you had a question. You didn't go sit hours with a financial planner going over your possible future goals. Why? Because at $200, $300, $400 an hour, it was too expensive. Imagine if you didn't have to worry about that meter ticking. Imagine if you had vetted, and I'm talking about CPAs, I'm talking about CFPs, I'm talking about IRS enrolled agents, I'm talking about the top of the field, vetted and all, understanding what they need to do. They'll help you to eliminate your debt. Again, the middleman. Number two, they'll help you. Just imagine unlimited. Yeah, I can call and ask the tax man, should I form a subchapter S? Should I do a Schedule C? Now, all of a sudden, this is on speed dial every time you have a question. We'll reduce your taxes. We'll lower your bills, even your healthcare costs. We have a program inside of our membership to reduce your healthcare costs, which also are skyrocketing. Then we talked about already restoring credit. Now, I don't care where your credit is today. Honestly, with this membership, it will get you where you need to be. And then the neat thing about that, while we're fixing your credit instead of before you buy a house, what if we put you in your house and used your house to build your credit even faster? You can literally, with this membership, transform your rent into ownership. And we're going to talk more about that a little bit later. Plus, our membership also starts you out at the beginning of the month with over $150. And I'm talking about Target. I'm talking about restaurants like Chili's and the common places that everybody knows. Imagine having a membership that already gave you $150 in savings every single month. And, Gerald, I forgot that it's cumulative. So if I didn't get to spend all of my savings last month, some of it rolls into this month as well. And you can actually be accumulating, and then, you can really celebrate using that kind of money. But our keys to home ownership, it's one of my pride and joy. It's why a lot of people do, in fact, join MWR for the membership, to have access to a program where your credit score is no longer the factor. Regardless of your credit score, if you can afford to make a rent payment, my friends, you can afford to own your home.
Wow, that's strong. And look at the average, Eric. $2,000 per month back into your pocket from your existing finances just using this platform. I mean, if you offer that to anybody, that they're going to take that. I don't care where people are in their financial life, what sort of monthly income they've got. Add another $2,000 to what you're doing, and what sort of impact does that have? What sort of difference does that make? Not to mention the other components, the program that you talked about, the keys to home ownership for those who are renting. 44 million people every single day. I mean, renting to me is equivalent to taking a bucket of money and just throwing it out the window.
It really is. And I even describe, and I won't do it tonight, but I break down the numbers and I tell people that if you rented and never owned, it's a $1 million mistake minimum. $1 million mistake. That's how important home ownership. And now you understand why I'm so, adamant about home ownership, and why I so love the fact when I saw that MWR, by the way, aligns very well with all three of those principles that I've had all along. And when I saw that, I said, you know what? This deserves more attention.
Wow. And we're happy that you planted your flag here, sir, and joined us on this mission. But think about it. We talk about legacy, right? So our experts, again, are going to position you now to multiply and protect the money and your assets with these core pillars here. And this is what you wanted to get into, Eric, to kind of help people understand. But before you do, I want to say to our audience, these are the core pillars that wealthy people have always used. People always say to me, well, how do wealthy people get rich and stay rich? This is how they do it.
Absolutely. And as you said, these are not new inventions or, discoveries. The wealthy have been practicing these practices. And, while it's available commonly, it's not taught in our schools. And that should be a big aha. You know, it's not publicized. And unfortunately, how do the wealthy learn it? Usually they pass it down from generation to generation, or because of how they congregate, country clubs and things like that. That's where they share those ideas. And usually what they're doing is sharing who their experts are, what their best investments are, and that's how they get and stay wealthy. You see, for example, the diversified cash flow account. Let me tell you a little story about a bank, right? A bank, when you put your money in a bank, they pay you 0 point nothing percent, right? They hold on to your money, right? No, they don't. They take your money and then they lend it out. And today, the current rate, they're lending it out at 7% or greater, depending on what kind of a loan it is. And as that money comes back in, they put it back into your account, right? No, they lend it out again and again and again. Do you know that a bank will lend out your money 7 to 9 times? And now you wonder why banks have the biggest buildings at the best locations and are constantly, extremely profitable. Well, imagine if you had an investment, and the wealthy have discovered one called a diversified cash flow account, where you can put your money in, and by the way, get above bank rates, and then be able to use that money again as collateral to buy more assets. So without selling assets and incurring taxes, I'm able to take money and buy more assets with money that I don't have to pay taxes on. The diversified cash flow account is a very dynamic, and I would tell people to start there. But we also have a private reserve account, another asset protected, lawsuit protected way to grow your money. Land banking. This is, again, back in the area of real estate. You're going to hear and see real estate come up over and over again. But do you know that there's experts out there that study land growth plans for municipalities, cities, and states? And then when they look at the plan, and often if you were to inquire, you know that your city has a 10-year, a 20-year, often a 30-year plan. Imagine if you looked at the 10-year plan and you saw that they were going to build a road where there's no road, but you bought the land first. And then when they come knocking on the door to buy that land, well, now you know that land is worth a lot more. And that happens every single day across the country because there's experts in that niche. Well, guess what? That's usually available only to the wealthy, like the ones that put together the land banking in Orlando, which today is known as Disney. But now you can participate that, and we're hearing returns of 30+% in just the land banking area. We also have a precious metals platform. The idea of diversifying your assets, putting them in a very safe wrapping. Well, if you want to also have a little bit of diversification into gold, silver, platinum, palladium, we have our own precious metals platform and the experts to guide you along the way. And then again, as I said, put a nice little wrapper. Back in the old days, the kings and the queens used to dig moats around all of their valuables, their castle, their real estate, to protect from the barbarians. And the bad news is that the barbarians are still well and alive. But today, how do we build moats? How do the Gates, the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, how do all those people still have generations of wealth going on and the barbarians weren't able to take it? They all have trusts. And trust is one of the oldest things. It goes back to Old English law before the United States even existed. And trust my assets is your path, your accessible path to be able now not only to make more money, but to keep your money.
That's what it's all about, my friend. As the caption says, this is how you live and leave a legacy. We've got the plan in place. MWR has leveled the playing field. So we believe it's everything that you need to secure your lifestyle and your legacy in one membership, Eric, at a cost of only $149.97 per month. And man, listen, this is about average to be about the price of a cup of coffee a day. But look at some of the other benefits. You're not signing any contract, no upfront fees. It includes a spouse. 2 people take advantage of the membership. The experts are going to do all the work. And did I mention a 30-day money back guarantee? How do you lose with this?
You don't. And by the way, if you really think about it, since it includes not only your spouse, it could be your domestic partner, it could be father, son, mother, daughter, 2 people at the same address. So cut that value in half, or I should say, cut the price in half, double the value. And P.S., at $149 a month, I paid more for that just for one of the services for 1 hour, let alone to have unlimited access for an entire month. So, this is coming from someone who has put it to the test. I said, this sounds great. This sounds almost too good to be true. Let's take it for a test drive. And we'll talk a little bit more about some testimonials and how this really works. But literally, for $149.97 a month, it is a bargain. Remember, the average savings is about $2,000 a month if you use the services. And why would you not have a membership that you didn't use the services, number one? And number two, what are you doing about your money today?
Wow. Profound, my friend. No question about it. But listen, this is why we believe that MWR is the perfect business. Why? Because here's why we say, where else can you get paid every single day while someone else is doing the work for you and for everybody that you refer? There's only one way to do it, Mr. Wilner. Let's talk about it. And we've got some good news on this end as well.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You said it's a wonderful membership, but it's also the perfect business. Imagine being able to start. No, let me correct that. Imagine being able to buy an ongoing, proven, existing business for a total cost of $249. Which by the way is a one-time $100 setup fee, because we have the turnkey. Well, I call this a business in a box. Everything is set up for you. It's 100% IRS compliant. And remember, this business comes with a CPA, with a CFP, an IRS enrolled agent involved in it. But we have developed a business where you can become a coach, helping people with their lifestyle and their legacy goals. And here's the even better part about it, is that you don't have to get a PhD in finance. You don't have to go out and get a license. With simply knowing that you have all the experts already to do the heavy lifting, where else can you get paid daily? And as my good friend, Dr. Gerald Parker will often say, get paid ridiculous amounts of money for what we're doing while someone else does the work for you and everyone that you refer.
Hey, Eric, yeah, and on Monday, something fascinating happened as it relates to this opportunity. The CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House, who I love this guy. He's always trying to find a way to help the masses win, right? So now we've discounted this $100 business setup fee. That no longer exists. You actually get everything, services and businesses, for only $149.97. That's your upfront investment. Now look at what it does. One, it puts you in the middle of a multi-trillion-dollar a year industry, financial services. Two, it puts you in business with the fastest growing financial strategies company in the country. And 249 was a bargain, but to own this business for only 149?
Yeah, I can't wait to tell the folks on my radio show all about this. But I do want to put a little asterisk in there. This is temporary. This is a temporary promotion. It isn't going to be around forever. And you need to have someone offer you. There's a special code that only a lifestyle and legacy coach has that to give away. So again, where else can you get paid daily? And we're going to talk a little bit more about those income streams where you have a team of experts that help you to grow and protect your money and your assets, that leverage their knowledge, their expertise, their strategies, not to mention all the training also that we have. We have multiple training platforms. There isn't a thing that you could ask that isn't already thought of and isn't already there. You get for that one-time $100 business setup fee, which temporarily, can be waived. You get a business website, a beautiful, very, if you think these slides look nice, you should see the websites. The website outward facing, the marketing website, the banners, the social media, the posts, everything that you need is already done and tested. Number two, you get a back office accounting system to track all of your progress, all of your income, all of the group of people that you expose this to. For $249, when I was told that, to me, it was basically a no-brainer. We might spend that in a weekend and then have nothing left to show for it. Here it is, a 100% IRS compliant business in a box. You are a W-2 employee today, and tomorrow you're now going to have all of the benefits of a business owner because you became an LLC lifestyle and legacy coach.
That's a big deal, my friend. But here's the other advantage. You are now putting yourself in a position as a partner with MWR to earn what I consider to be a ridiculous amount of money without unlimited daily pay and the industry leading residual income. And Eric, let's talk about that. Let's look at this residual income. Take a quick glance at the sort of money that's on the table through this partnership, and I'll let you go through it, sir.
Yeah, and so a couple of things that I just want to emphasize. Number one is those luxury residuals. Remember, bills come in month after month after month, so we need matching income that comes in month after month after month. Imagine having someone that would write you a check every day, every month, every year that covered all of your expenses without you lifting one finger. That's what we're talking about. That's true residual or true passive income, is income that's not tied to what you do. But first, you got to build a group. You got to build a business. And how do you build a business? For 249, you got into the business and now you own a business, but a business is leverage, which means it involves having other people. And what MWR designed, an incredible, probably one of the most generous compensation plans that I've seen in the industry. And they said simply that once you build a team of simply 3 other people, they're also looking for an opportunity to either do some part-time work, some part-time income, a little moonlighting, maybe supplement their income, or even to replace it. Because I'm going to talk about more than replacement income. But once you have a group of just 3 LLCs teaming up with you, and one outside sale, because you count as one of the 2 personal sales, now you're making $5 a day. Okay. Now, $5 a day did not move the needle for me. Okay. That wouldn't have been why I joined this business. It was for all the other benefits and how this company works. But what I noticed is that at $5 a day, and remember at $149 a month, that's about $150. At $5 a day, if I build a group of just 3 people, I now have a self-funded business. In other words, the business is now paying for itself like a business does. Because if you're paying for your business, that's a hobby, my friends. Right. This business pays for itself, and the company goes a little bit further. Because every time you bring on another LLC, the company pays you $50, unlimited. You can, get 1,000, you'll have $50,000. You bring in 3, and you do that in the first 30 days, which is no hard feat. In the first 30 days, the company also gives you another 150. So they basically double your money in the first 30 days, and you have a self-funding business going forward, another 150. Now, in month 2, they say, listen, you don't have to go out and go and enroll anymore. Help those 3 that saw the vision with you to get their 3 so that they get their $150 bonus. When you do that in your first 60 days, the company rewards you with a $450 bonus, even though you didn't enroll one more person. And because it's a momentum bonus, now that we did it 2 months, let's do it 3 months in a row. And if you do that, the company gives you a bonus of $900. But more importantly, when I did it the first month, I got $5. The second month, I'm now making $20 a day. Again, quick math times 30, that's $600 a month. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now you're starting to move the needle for me, because $600 is a car payment, could be a significant portion of a mortgage payment. It could be the difference between being in the positive and the negative every month. And then by the 3rd month, my group has now grown to 36 people. I've got $50 coming in per day, like clockwork. And by the way, it's not 5 days a week, it's 7 days a week. And every day, 7 days a week, $50 coming in is $1,500. Now, you could very easily, and it's commonly done, and that's why the company has this momentum program, that you could now have $1,500 coming in month after month after month after month, regardless of whether you go any further than this. But that's not why I'm stopping at this number. Remember, I said that the average Social Security check that most Americans retire on after putting in 40 hours a week, 40 years of their life, now going on to 50, and they're still not making, more than the 40% that the Social Security is paying out on average. And we just showed you how to do that in 90 days. Wow. You see, over my head here, you see it says the 5-year career. Because of this company, I started to develop a coaching program on how to knock out your entire career in 5 years. In fact, we're going to show you how to do it in 3 in just a little bit. But the point of the matter is that look at that luxury residual. And by the way, this is only one of 6, in fact, now 7, and they keep growing, different revenue streams. And as you grow your business over time, let's dream a little bit, Gerald. First of all, at the top is $5. At the bottom is $15,000. Now remember, I'm still in the daily column. Now, we already know people personally that are now at $1,500 a day. Okay. So if one man can do it, 10 men can do it. If one man can do it, 10 women can do it. It doesn't matter. This is an opportunity. You don't have to be an athlete to make athletes money, because at $15,000 a day, that's times 30. Let's do that math, a little bit more complicated, but that's $450,000 per month. Times 12, that's $5.4 million a year. There are athletes that actually don't make that, and they work a heck of a lot harder than we have to with this. And this is simply about being consistent. And I'm going to emphasize throughout the consistency. But this is one of 6 different revenue streams. In addition to that, we have lifestyle bonuses. Every time that your organization grows more than 6 people in 1 week, then you get bonused $300. And by the way, if it grows 12, you get $600. If it grows, 18, you would get $900. It's really up to you. And there's people hitting all of these numbers. On top of that, when you get to become a 3-star executive director, we'll go into more about that, what that is, but then you become eligible for what are called legacy bonuses. And these are bonuses that are paid throughout your organization, whether you know them, whether you were involved with them, it doesn't matter. Every time a transaction happens in the business, you get $30 here, $30 there, 30, and that money starts to add up as the momentum builds. Gerald, at $15,000 a day, what changes in your life?
Everything, my friend. The car you drive, the house you live in, the clothes you wear, where you send your kids to school. Eric, I'm convinced that I know for sure, there's not another revenue sharing plan that's ever been put together in this industry that will match what MWR brings to the table. The ability to make this level of income, to generate this level of income, this is freedom here. We have an opportunity to do it. And this is just the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. And all we need, Eric, is just a handful of people to see this vision and understand it and jump in with you and begin to work to introduce this concept to people that absolutely need it. You bring to the table the solution to the problem that 98% of the people in this country are facing. But Eric, let's slow it down for a minute and show people how to get there. You mentioned a 3-year plan, right? And
yes,
we're going to go to our simulator here and help people understand how you can generate a 6-figure residual income using this platform in 3 years. I mean, and this is slow motion. This is the slow walk home, right?
I already said that 3 in a month shouldn't be that difficult. I'll bet you everybody on this Zoom knows 3 people that wish they made a little bit more money. And imagine that if you could do this part-time, simply sharing. And here's how, let me give you the secret formula, okay? The secret formula is tell people about it. First of all, try it yourself, because you're not going to recommend something that you've never tried, and you're not going to recommend something that didn't, turn out good. But you go to a restaurant, you have a great experience, you're telling everybody. You go see a great movie, you're telling everybody. Now, how much do the restaurant and the movies pay you? 0. Here, like you said, 98% of Americans face money issues all the time. I'll bet you that 100% of Americans talk about money at least once a day. And you have a solution that really covers the entire waterfront. So let's show you this income simulator, which, by the way, is on the website. You can go in there and play your what ifs all day long. But often when I ask somebody, like, how much money do you want to make? And everybody wants to make 6 figures. And it's funny. It's kind of like they always say, if I could make $100,000 a year, I'd be good. And I said, okay, great. Let's look at that. If I could show you how to get to $100,000 in monthly recurring income, would you listen a little bit more? And he goes, yes, of course. So I said, here's the deal. Remember I told you before with the momentum bonuses, you can do it, 3 in 1 month. Forget that. Imagine if I say, listen, find one, just one each month for the next 12 months. One person that is looking for an opportunity, that's coachable, that is serious, just one. Okay. And I do that for a year. At the end of the 1 year, I'm going to have 12 LLCs. In other words, business partners. I'm going to have at least one customer. I think that this is doing a real conservative job. But at the end of 1 year, with telling somebody here and there, telling the people and finding one, I'm now making $600 a month, $600 a month. And all I did was get one a month, 1 out of 30 days. Well, this is where why the tortoise won the race, because he was consistent, right? He just kept plodding along. The rabbit ran and the rabbit stopped. The rabbit went backwards. The tortoise continued year 2 to get 12 more. That's all they did. But they had other 12 people and they went out and got their 12. But you know what? Let's say that only 50% of those people actually go out and do something. The rest are still watching Wheel of Fortune and wondering why they can't make their bills every month. Here we go. We're in year 2, we have 72 business partners. 72 each got one member. And now you've got 157 or more members. You are now promoted to the 4-star executive director. You're earning $3,000, almost twice what Social Security, almost the maximum Social Security check. And you're getting that month after month after month after 2 years, not 40. Now, let's go to year 3. Your goal was a 6-figure income. Year 3, same thing. I plod along just like a tortoise, one new member a month. And 50% of my organization does the same thing. I now have 216 business partners. I have 216 or more customers generating that monthly revenue flow. 589 total members. I'm now a 2-star regional director. By the way, that's almost halfway down that money chart that we just showed you. Now earning $9,000 a month passive income. 9,000 times 12 is 108,000. Check the box. You now have a 6-figure income for life. And you did it because you were consistent. And I'm not talking about a full-time job at all. And this is probably one of the reasons why Dr. Parker left his $65,000 a year. Good job, right?
Yes,
to do
sir.
this full time, because he couldn't afford to work that $65,000 job anymore.
Honestly, Eric, and truly, what you say is absolutely true, guys. I saw that, and I'm going to go back for a minute. Let's go back because I want to look at this revenue sharing plan one more time. We're slightly ahead of schedule, but I mean, you think about it. Within 2 years of me working this very platform, using this as a guide, right? With this revenue sharing program, I was able to introduce enough people to this concept that joined me in this crusade to be able to generate enough income to walk away from a $65,000 a year job to do this full time. I always call this, Eric, my fixed income chart. Why do I call it that? Because I can fix my income to be whatever I desire it to be. I just need to find some like-minded people. And I know that there are enough people out there that want change in their life, that want to get their financial life in order, but want to create another stream of income that could possibly free them and allow them to walk away from a job or to retire a spouse, send the kids to private schools. Guys, I want to stay here for a minute, Eric, because this is it right here as it relates to the ticket we're looking for to free ourselves. Many people that I'm working with right now want to do the business funding platform that we've just introduced, but there's an upfront investment of about $3,000. So I told a guy today, if you need $3,000, let me show you how to get it. Eric, all we got to do is find 90 people, and he's at $3,000, not just one time, but month after month after month, and then go ahead and secure the business funding and use that money to invest in precious metals, land banking, private reserve account, DCA, our leasing program, all of those things. We've got to have the means to do it, and this is the vehicle that we use to create the opportunities that we seek. At the end of the day, we need money. We don't have
I love that example. I absolutely love that example. And someone say, well, 90 people. Well, listen, okay, that was to do it in 1 month. If you want to do it in 6 months, get 12 people. Get 12 people. You're getting $600 a month, and in 5 months, you've got the money for the business funding. Which, by the way, because I don't want to just gloss over that,
right.
We have an incredible new program called the Funding 360. It's our own private way that we are creating funding for individuals and businesses, primarily businesses. And here's the cool part about it. It is independent of your current credit score. What we have is a platform that creates a credit score for your business. And now we have funding, a guaranteed, by the way, here's that word again, guaranteed minimum $50,000, or they'll refund that fee, guaranteed $50,000, and it continues to grow. And obviously the more that you use and fulfill the obligations of borrowing, the more they tend to offer you, and they will offer you more. But this is now the highest commissionable part of our business. It has now elevated our business, not just talking to the mom and pop and individuals out there, but now to be able to talk to business owners across the land. And Gerald, have you ever asked a business owner if they could use a little more money?
And the answer is always yes.
Yeah, if you asked me that, I would say yes. I could always use a little bit more money. If you showed me different ways, which is one of the reasons why I got very excited about the business funding, because I know that, not only does everybody need it, but listen, if you're an investor like myself, every time that I find a viable source of funding, I'm taking that money and investing it and putting my money to work, working harder than what it costs. And that's called leverage. That's how the wealthy do what they do.
And no doubt about it, sir. And you mentioned 6 streams of income. We add the 7th one, which business funding. So even for the referral of that business owner joining MWR to pursue business funding, you're going to get paid on that as well. And the cool part about it, Eric, the way they've structured it, that you're going to pick up legacy bonuses on those referrals as well. And also you're going to get a 25% check match if you've sponsored someone who introduces their business to business funding. I mean, just so much money on the table. And I say, guys, it's time for us to stop leaving this money on the table, get excited about the opportunity, and begin to share it with people. Fernando Ramirez taught me a long time ago. He says, you got to triple your efforts, right? So I think that's where we all are right now, to kind of get us where we need to be. And there's no greater way to do it than MWR. Our members' results speak for themselves. We've already got $1 million residual club ring earners. I'm fortunate enough to be in that club. And guys, there's plenty of room. There are plenty of rings to give away. MWR already has people getting paid every single day. You know what it feels like, Mr. Wilner, at 5 o'clock when you get that notification. People are saving more money. They're earning interest instead of paying it. We know the difference there. They're buying and building their dream homes thanks to the Keys to Home Ownership, the program that you're responsible for bringing to this platform. They're driving the cars of their dreams. They're living their dream lifestyle and also positioning themselves to leave a legacy for their families, guys. Everyone on this side is winning. We believe that the only one is missing is you. And if not MWR, Eric, then what? And if not now, then when? If not you, then who? This is our chance. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. But Eric, we've got some choices to make. Talk about it, sir.
That's right. We do have some choices to make, but luckily they're good choices. And these are 2 good choices. Number one is that if you want some of the money, and what some of the money means is that you want to have the benefit, grow your net worth, grow your income with the membership. And by the way, we forgot to say, another way to have this membership absolutely for free is when you refer 3 people to the business. Even if you're not in the business, but you have a membership, you refer 3 other people because you told them it's a great service, then your $149 goes away. It's no longer charged. So one choice is I want some of the money. And by the way, that's a great choice, because try using the services and you're going to find out that it is worth a multiple of what the cost is. So it's really an investment because you get far more back than what you put in. But if you want all of the money, and when I saw the difference was a $100 one-time fee that opened the door for me to be able to refer people and then get paid for that as well, to have access to the 6 different, now 7 different, and actually, Gerald, when you were talking about that, you said that not only do they pay a $400 direct referral, but also a 25% match. Then it's really 7 and 8, I think. Right. But anyway, the point is that with the business, I now can deduct all sorts of things because I now have a 100% IRS compliant business in a box, turnkey, ready to go with multiple proven streams of income. So for me, it was not a decision. I probably lose or waste $100 more often than I pay this one-time fee. And to have this business that today is a self-funded business for me, it only grows in a positive sense. And listen, I am a full-time real estate professional. It's where I love to be. So most of what I do with MWR is in the course of my business. I'll tell you, people who are in the real estate business, who are in the mortgage business, who are in any of the financial services, this is an incredible, if nothing else, add-on. I no longer have to turn people down because they have poor credit. And I go, listen, I have a program for you. Don't worry about it. Let me show you. And the business and membership combination, the total startup cost of $249. And as Gerald mentioned, you could possibly have that $100 fee waived while this promotion is going on for a limited time. Why wouldn't you do that? In fact, you don't have to even make a choice now. When you think about it, just take the business. If you never do anything with the business, doesn't matter. Didn't cost you 1 red cent.
Wow. That's huge, sir. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because let's look at it in that way. And again, guys, this we believe is the difference, because again, it's the only opportunity that guarantees your success. We go as far as putting it in writing. We stand behind it. We say if our expert strategist opportunity cannot put more money back in your pocket than the cost of the membership in the first 30 days, MWR refunds your money. So we've taken away any risk. As Eric mentioned earlier, the only way that you lose is simply by choosing not to participate. And we hope that you're willing to participate in your own rescue. So if you've made a decision tonight based on what you've seen and heard, on behalf of myself and Mr. Wilderness, we want to welcome you to the MWR family, but we strongly encourage you to get back with the marketing director that referred you and let them know whether you want some of the money or whether you want all of the money. Either decision you make is a good one, but because of the discount, Eric, really, there's only one choice. It's $149. You get the whole package. You get it all. So guys,
it's like asking, hey, Gerald, do you want to win or do you want to win?
Exactly. We believe that this is our moment, so we strongly encourage you to get started now. You got a tremendous amount of help. We're going to bring on Fernando Ramirez here in a little bit, our business partner in Southern California, to talk a little bit more about the promotion that is that was launched on Monday and how we begin to take advantage of it. Guys, once again, I believe that you've just seen and heard what I believe is the greatest opportunity that exists on planet Earth. This is where lifestyle and legacy connect. This is MWR. But Eric, we'll close with this. I think this is probably, out of all the slides, I love them all, but to end with this, this kind of says it all right here.
Yeah, it's actually pretty interesting because lifestyle is what we do today. Whatever floats your boat, whether it's spending more time with family, making trips. You choose. That's up to you. And we just showed you a way to build that lifestyle faster than through any other vehicle. And by the way, there is a movement going on in the United States today. Yes. And COVID kind of ignited it. When people got the opportunity to work from home, to stay home, not have to commute, not have to go to a cubicle, a lot of people liked it and didn't go back. Okay. And they were all searching while they were sitting at home, searching for opportunities. How can I make a living on my schedule from my location? And a lot of people are finding out, and this is a perfect solution at the perfect time. But now let's go fast forward in the future. I mentioned, there's names that you recognize, right? The Rockefellers, the Gates, and pretty soon you'll be listening the Musks in there and everything else. Why do people remember the Vanderbilts? Why do people, the Kennedys, why do people remember all of these names 100 years after they are gone, right? And I promise you, that picture, there's a portrait in the house of the estate of every one of those names that I told you about. It's a portrait of who made that significant legacy. And the question that this is, will your great grandchildren remember you? Okay. I know your kids will remember you. Maybe, hopefully, your grandkids will remember you. But how about your great grandkids and your great grandkids? How do you, and this, by the way, really struck a note with me, because I always ask myself, How do I leave an impact? How do I leave the room better off than when I entered it?
Mm.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the answers to that question.
No question about it, sir. And that, I mean, that's food for thought. That's something that we seriously need to think about. You know, we've got to do the work. We mentioned earlier that your work is not in vain. You have the ability to build something that is lasting. And also, Eric, this opportunity and this business that we're building is willable, transferable, it's sellable. So you're building something that has tremendous value, and that's something that can be handed down to your children. Now, with that being said, we're going to end our presentation, ladies and gentlemen, but we're not going to leave the platform without being able to answer questions for you, and we hope that we can. We don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having a full understanding of what you've seen and heard. Fernando has the controls. Your mics are open, and also your ability to open your camera. So if you've got a question, particularly if you're here for the first time, let's get those questions answered tonight and get you on the mission with us to join us on this mission, this ministry, this crusade, and as Eric mentioned, this movement. Will there be any questions for any of our guests tonight?
As usual, my friend, we've done a great job. I think we've covered most of the points. I'm sure that we gave people a lot to think about.
Yes.
But you know, tonight with this limited time promotion of the waiving the $100, it's basically a certificate that your lifestyle and legacy coach has the ability to give you a $100 certificate off the price of a business, a turnkey business. And like I said, I can't wait to mention that on my radio show tomorrow, that I've got $100 for you. If you've ever thought about becoming a business owner, this is the time where you need to pull up a chair and listen.
Absolutely. And Fernando has helped us with the promo flyer here. VIP pop-up promotion starts June 10th, which was Monday, and it'll run indefinitely. Well, again, we
not indefinitely, not indefinitely, my friend.
That's true. We don't want to chance it, and we want to take advantage of it while it is here. We don't know how long it's going to last, but we've got to get boots on the ground now and get people involved and offer them this opportunity for $100 less than what they would have paid, any day last week. So here's a huge advantage for us to take advantage of. Fernando Ramirez, Southern California, is in the process of putting someone in the business tonight, Eric, that's taking advantage of the discount with the MVP code, VIP code. And that code, by the way, is MWRLLC. So guys, get back with the person that invited you and get yourself set up. And we'd like to hear from Fernando, our business partner in Southern California, who is just knocking this business out. He's going at it hard. He brings 30 plus years of experience in this industry, highly successful, and has planted his flag with MWR and is running with us on this mission. Welcome to the platform, sir.
Thank you, Dr. G.W. Parker. Thank you, Mr. Eric Wilder. How couldn't I, if I have the best team partners, that I am working with, dreamers, visionaries. I mean, you really can't fail with a team like that. And that's what MWR gives us a chance to do. In 31 years, honest truth, ladies and gentlemen, I have never worked with gentlemen like this. It gives us true pleasure to say that it doesn't matter where you come from. The question becomes what is it that you want to do with your life? Keep in mind, we're talking about today, limited time offer of $100, which it should be $100, ladies and gentlemen. This business should be worth $100,000 to start. I mean, you heard our Lifestyle Legacy membership, what it provides, in addition to a tremendous compensation plan. I've been in this industry long enough to be able to appreciate this incredible compensation plan. Take advantage of it. It's normally $249.97, but it's limited time offer. The CEO could say, hey, we already submitted enough registrations, and enrollments. We're stopping it. We got to get it back to $249.97. So before that happens, take advantage of the opportunity, and I guarantee you're going to become a part of our dream team, because we're looking for visionaries, we're looking for leaders. And if you feel that this is a good fit for you and your family, so you can have a lifestyle to leave a legacy, you know what? I'm a witness of it. I am happy. We love what we do. My wife and I work this business 7 days a week. She's my team partner. She's my right arm, plus these incredible leaders that we work with. So you're not going to work by yourself. Yes, for yourself, yes, but never, ever, ever by yourself, with an incredible system leaders and company experts. So thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you, Dr. G.W. Parker and Mr. Eric Wilner.
Fernando, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for planting your flag with MWR and partnering with us and all that you bring to the table. You're a huge value to this entire movement, sir. We couldn't do it without you. But Mr. Wilner, with that being said, closing remarks for our guests, your thoughts on what we're bringing to the table. I mean, and I value your opinion simply because you've been in and around this industry as it relates to financial services for decades. You're highly successful in business yourself. You host the longest running real estate radio talk show in the country, and so you've got a very good feel for the market and what's happening and what people are feeling and thinking, and as they move through life, struggling in these areas of finances. What are we bringing to the table here? Is there an advantage to join MWR?
You know, it's often people don't see the value when there's not a large investment. And this is the one thing that sometimes I worry. We deliver so much value. Okay, think about this. And Dr. Parker, you used to make a calculation. The $150 a month, right? Again, doesn't move the needle. It doesn't particularly excite me and probably not a lot of people. But in order for you to have $150 come to you every single month, how much in real assets would you otherwise have to have? Which, by the way, shows you what the value of your business is right away.
$36,000 earning you 5% interest.
Okay, so I don't know where you're going to get 5% right now without tying up your money, but It would take $36,000 or find 3 people. Which one is easier? It's you know, again, I hate to use the expression, it's a no-brainer, because truly it's the people with a brain that see this opportunity and then take action. You see, my parting comment is, you know, that you know, life money rewards action. It punishes procrastination. And if you've ever had that feeling like, man, I should have done that, or I missed that opportunity, the saddest words that I ever hear is that if I'd only known then what I know now, I would have bought another house, bought a first house. I would have joined MWR. The saddest thing is because you do know right now, we just presented it to you literally in black and white on a silver platter. All you have to do is take it for a ride. If it's not everything that we said it is, give it back. You'll get a full money back guarantee. You'll never hear that in the financial services industry, which is why, if you haven't heard of MWR before, it will become a household name. It's in the largest $109 trillion industry, and it's changing the paradigm. It is shifting what used to be normal. Now the other people are going to have to shift and adapt to be able to keep up with what we're doing. So the timing couldn't be better. And I'll make one last comment, which is, if you're in the real estate business, any way, shape, form related to the real estate business, and I don't care whether you're in the services, you're a tradesman, a plumber, a roofer, a painter, but especially if you're a realtor. Again, I told you that I no longer say no to any of my prospects. I now can turn your list of dead leads into money. Not only that, but as a referral base that is going to scream from the rooftops that you did. Everybody else gave up on you, but not my guy, not my realtor, not my mortgage broker. And that's why, listen, last thing I'm going to say, if you're not on fire after everything that I just told you, your wood is wet.
I love it, sir.
And we have fun while we're doing this.
That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining the platform tonight. Do me a favor, all of you, please, just if you would unmute yourself and thank Mr. Eric Wilner, our presenter.
And Dr. Gerald Parker.
Well, and also
Mr. Fernando Ramirez, and our
please.
great hostess, Zena Edgehill, which, by the way, you know, I do get excited about this, and I just wanted to say something. Kudos to Miss Zena Edgehill, who, by the way, started out test driving. She had an urgent need. She needed housing. She was, 30 days away from having to vacate. She was introduced to MWR. She got a home. to, you know, she is now a homeowner. She went from almost homeless to a homeowner in a very short amount of time. But that's not the best part of the story. She saw what an impact it made, and she says, I want to tell other people. You told me, right, that this is the perfect business. Today, she is a 3-star executive. She's got residual income. She calls that, you call it your fixed income plan. I call it the money menu. She calls it her retirement plan because she's methodically working her way, checking off line after line after line. And God bless you, Zena, and all of the other members here at MWR. You know, this is how you leave the room better off than when you entered it.
I'm loving it, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's double our numbers next week and bring a guest with you. I mean, share this excitement. Bring to the table, I mean, bring people so they can see and hear what all the excitement is about. It's MWR. We've got the fix, no question about it. With that being said, good night to all of you. God bless you. Mr. Wilner, thank you, sir. Fernando, thank you.
Thank you, Gerald.
Dr. G.W. Parker, what is your statement every time we leave the platform?
Get excited or stay broke forever.
That's right. Awesome
Thank you.
presentation, guys. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you,
Sandra.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Amazing. Great. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Wilder, great seeing you here, sir.
See you.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
Presentation.
Great presentation. Good night. Good night.
night, guys.
Good night.